Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays Reus 2, episode 10. So today I've got a fun one for you. I've been mapping out my next plan of attack, and I think we're going to be juggling a couple of things in an interesting manner that will get us not only the turning point from the medieval era that we haven't seen yet, but also another new, unique Age of Discovery turning point, as well as qualifying for an achievement that only 7.1% of the player base has at the moment, at least at the time of this recording. All while using the as our primary people, one of the brand newly introduced things, the Diplomat. So the Diplomat, they want prosperity for all, not just themselves, everybody. All right, their global bonus, all apex biotica, not just a higher level, but they specifically have to be apex. Get 2 food, knowledge, and gold for each completed city request level on the planet. Meaning if you could do the level 1, that's and a level 2, that gives you ×3 of all those, which is pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Now, to accomplish this feat, we're going to be bringing out the OG team. We got forest, we got ocean, we got rock. We need each of their biomes pressed into service. With the secondary biomes online, the only biome that we're missing is savanna, but we don't need savanna where we're going. So let's go. All right. So first we got to get the Diplomat established. Not too difficult. They just need 5 prosperity, which means literally any flavor. Now I'm going to be very careful and controlled about how I build this one, because where borders go and in what direction at what time is important. Order of operations here are a little bit tighter. So we're just going to make 3 things of forest to start things off with. And we're going to go ahead and settle the city. All right, we've got a little bit of knowledge here in the middle. That's not too bad. Fair enough. Okay, so as far as, oh yeah, let's not forget our name and game patrons. Jetstream Forest will be our main city here. And we're actually going to be pressing a bunch of name and game patrons in, because one of the things that we're going to be doing here is creating more than just the 3 cities. We're actually going to be maxing the planet out. Right, now, first things first, we need to get a rock and a food bioticum down. We will accomplish this as such. Now, one of the other things that we need here is a mossy stone. We want that because it is an element. Even though we're doing that in a plant and the gem would qualify for that, we need the element. So mossy stone it goes. And yes, I'm not putting it on the bonus slot. There's a reason for that. And now for our plant, adjacent to a mineral, we will take the blueberry. Boom. And these 2 by themselves will be enough to push us over to 5 prosperity, which will allow us to get our next settler. All right, now to start drawing borders, one thing I'm going to do is another set of borders that we need to keep in mind for distancing purposes is going to be desert. Desert's going to be the other half of Jetstream Forest, and we need only 3 tiles of it. Now, what goes beyond the desert is going to depend on what type of city we've got here. There are a couple of ones that I'm looking for or hoping for. A couple ones I am trying to avoid, and I hope that I don't get a choice between two that I'm trying to avoid. Let's go. Okay. All right. Botanist and the Sage. Between the two of them, I think we're going to go Botanist. Yeah, I'm good with Botanist. Obviously, they are not going to be in the desert, but there's more that we're going to be doing here. So we need two patches. Actually, let's go with 3 patches. 3 patches away from the desert. Then we're going to give you a little bit more room. 2, 3. We're going to do 1 patch right here. Now you might be saying, well, they can't just exist on a single patch. Well, that's okay. We are going to give them something to play in from the get-go, and that is going to be an ocean. But I'm also going to be breaking my rules for oceans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going with an 8 fur at this juncture. In fact, actually, I might not even do that. I might even go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be a little ocean. We're not going to be going too deep into ocean tech, but it is very important to our opening. Which is why I took the ocean giant, because we need to be able to make the ocean right off the bat. Okay, now the important thing is that we have a livable patch here, and the ocean is the only enticing biome to go into. We want them to make their 2 segments into the ocean immediately. Also, while they go there, we need to pick our upgrade for Jetstream Forest. Our choice, even though we don't have any of them, is going to be Trapper. We are going to be getting our 4 distinct animals. And while, yeah, we have one of the elements here, trust me, we want Trapper. All right, Botanist is online. Ooh, couple of good slots here. We got a plant slot, and yeah. So they want population and technology, which works great for us. So technology, sea anemone, I'm going to put that down there. And then food, we're going to do kelp. And that'll be our 2 plants, and then we can throw, well, hopefully they get it from the 2 plants here. Actually, what I'll probably do is sea anemone and a fish. Although the fish is going to be, well, we'll see what they get. What do you guys get? If I remember correctly, yeah, you get good stuff from mystery. So the sea anemone plus the fish, the clownfish, may be of use to us, even though the clownfish's money is not. But what I want to try to ensure that we get is that that they get their level 1 without needing multiples. Yeah, actually, we're going to have to. So you get the plant booster. Kelp gets here. That hopefully is enough to, yeah, perfect, excellent. All we need to do is, what our goal here is to finish the first level without placing more than 2. Because if you place more than 2, they're going to want to grow. If they want to grow, they're going to try and take over more of the sea. It's important that we leave part of this half of the sea for the other city, which is going to be right over here. Let's see what we get. Oh, the Huntress. Huntress is absolutely fantastic. Merchant's not half bad either, but for this particular build, the Huntress is like S tier for a helper. All right. As far as what biome the Huntress is going to be getting, let's no, we don't. Huntress doesn't necessarily need the desert. I mean, all we're doing is just one patch because they like their botanist counterpart are starting in the ocean. Let's speed you along here. There we go. Oh yeah, need to do name and game for these cities. Give me one moment. Okay, we got Port Ruthberg. And Nighthawk Village. There we go. Right. Any boosters here? Not on this side. That's okay. I kind of got really good boosters on this side, so I ain't gonna complain too loudly. Now, we need 3 food, 3 population, 2 animals. This is easily accomplished by just spamming out 2 herrings. That will get you exactly what they need to grow, and is 2 animals. So we will do 2 herring. And yes, there is a specific reason I'm doing them in this pattern. We don't get the double bonus herbivore thing from the Huntress because that's only if you pick them as your primary. And they are not our primary. But that's okay. Alright, so now all that's really left for this particular era is to boost is to actually work on and finish the prologue here. Now, for our science booster, we're actually going to be doing an animal here. Actually, we got to use our first draft, which is going to be in the forest, and we're going to get the pangolin. Pangolin not only gives us gold and food, but it also gives us a few other goodies that we're looking for in terms of it's. So here's the strategy, the sort of the baseline strategy. So these headliners up here, these are Apex Biotica. Even the 1-star ones, these are considered Apex, meaning that they get the Diplomat's global bonus. And obviously, the more Apex Biotica you put down, the better, because the more instances of that bonus you get. Now, the problem is all Apex Biotica will always cost biodiversity. It is global. There is no such thing as an apex that does not cost biodiversity. However, not all apexes are created equal. Some cost more or less. There are some 1-star apexes that cost 4 biodiversity. The less biodiversity, the more you can spam them. So pangolins are just really, really good, and they go well together. So yeah, let's unlock. And I don't mind putting it on the science booster because of her ability. It's going to be generating some science, even though it is not a science-focused entity. And we have the 2 biodiversity, so there we go. Now, what do we want to put over here? Probably another pangolin, but we're going to need more biodiversity for that. That is a slightly later thing, because we have another aspect that we're trying to get to. We just need another animal over here. We could place one, or we might be able to get away without having to place one. So the next unlock we're going to go for here is in the desert. And we're going ostrich, just like before. See how each of these is 3 to place the apex? Not the ostrich. Ostrich is only 2 and gives us lots and lots of gold and food. See that recurring theme? Also, the mud crack is another element, which is important for our first ancient quest once we get to it. Sand grouse is nice. It's not super nice, but we do need the animals. So let's do it. So what we need here is we want the sand cat and the sand grouse. Sand grouse is a critter, cat eats the critter. Normally you're supposed to pair the Joroba, but one, the Joroba kind of sucks. Two, the Joroba is not empty. See how the cat and the sand grouse are both barren? They count as empty slots? That, the ostrich cares about them counting as empty slots. So yeah, that's where we're going with that. Actually, what I think I'm going to do first, let's actually start with the mud crack. Because the cat does not have to be adjacent to it. They just have to be in the same biome. So we're going to go mud crack here. And it gives us not only research, but also more biodiversity based on if it's next to something empty. Like, oh, I don't know, like the sand grouse. Now, yeah, the sand grouse costs us 1 biodiversity. It is not an apex, but it also gives us 1 back, so it's kind of biodiversity neutral, and we kind of need it because we need the extra animals here. Now, with our biodiversity at 2, we can grab the ostrich. And that should inspire them to come over and grab this tile over here. This is why I kept this side barren. We don't want them reaching out further. All right, that's not quite enough to entice them, so we will throw down the sand cat to further entice them. That's got him. So now the sand cat gets boosted because it has in the same biome as the critter. The ostrich is not a critter, but it is apex, so it gets those extra bonuses. And that's enough to get the goddess her prosperity here. And we even have a placement left before we go too far here. What shall we use it on? Probably we do need to get these guys up to their next level. We could get you over the hump with an agate here. That would not be too bad. Yeah, you're not with the plants, and we're already using those plants, and we're going to be using that fish. So yeah, I think the agate is going to be our correct answer in this regard. Just to give them a little push. Because the huntress does want a mixture of food and gold, and so there's a little taste of gold for them. All right. And yes, they have no choice but to go over here, which is fine. All right. So yeah, let's continue. Now the ancient era. We've done all of the ancient eras at this point. There's no avoiding the repeat. But for the tactical purposes here, we're going to do a monument age. Yes, it is centered on the diplomat. We built up her city to be the biggest, on purpose. And there's a couple of different reasons we're going with the monument age, which I shall show. And now we've unlocked the secondary biomes for our giants if we so choose. For example, I might go taiga on the huntress's village because the taiga goes pretty well with that, I would say. All right, so we needed the first stage of monument is 2 element. That is why I went with the mossy stone and the mud crack. Those are our 2 elements right there. Now, what we need is we need to get each of our villages. Ideally, we want them to obviously finish their missions, but at the very least, we need to get them up to a 10 prosperity. We're already at a 9 with Nighthawk Village, because what we need them to do is to pop so we can get another draft. Fish, distinct animals, or distinct animals. I think... Well, if we got rid of the stone, the fish one would work, but we kind of need to... Well, actually, yeah, we might want to do the fishing one. And I'll swap out that agate for something else. Because you are indeed going to have 4 fish. So let's do the fishing hut. That's the other reason why for this, is that you can very easily access these. They're not at there yet, but that fishing hut gives us the 2-point bonus, which should be enough. Yeah, that's going to be enough to get them over to the 10. So that will qualify for this. Now we just need to help give the botanist village a little push. So let's see what their things here. For each distinct algae bioticum. Not quite. I mean, we have the one, but we're not going too crazy with that. Undergrowth within borders, woodcutter. We could do woodcutter. Oh, I mean, there's no trees over there. I don't think you count as... Yeah, you're not algae, and we're not going the algae route really. Yeah, I think we can go... Actually, we could probably do... In my test game of this, I didn't have the botanist, so I'm trying to suss out what is the best one. I mean, if we do algae farm, we're guaranteed 1, but that's not terribly attractive. I think we can do better than that. Either herbalist or woodcutter is probably the correct answer. I know we can do trees because if we go rainforest, which we can now do, we've got papaya, we've got Ramon. Oh, and we got the bamboo. Oh, that's not a tree though. Oh, but it is an undergrowth. But does it have to be distinct? So trees, yeah, we don't have 3 trees. Of course, we could just do a 1 fir of that and then get over there, and that would give us our 3 trees. That might be a little bit messy. If we do undergrowth, well, yeah, you know what? We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with trees. So woodcutter. At the very least, we get the 2 out of 3. If we can find our way to get a 3rd tree, we'll get it. But at the very least, we get a little bit of help. Now you guys have just 8. So let's transform this patch, these 3, into rainforest. Again, we're not going too crazy with this, but we are going to be building up enough to get ourselves an apex. But first things first, we'll start with the Ramon tree. And then you combine that with the papaya tree, and we're at 3 biodiversity once we place the tree. And yes, we do want you to go and start claiming this. In fact, we want to make sure that you get this other section too. All right, that's enough to get you to 10, which is enough to finish the quest for you. Now, the whole reason for this is that we want to draft into the ocean, and we want the tuna. This is big McLarge food for both sides. And it's also it's an apex, but it's a cheap apex. Botanist is inventing something new. Hopefully not something crappy. Alright, so I'm going to throw the tuna down here on the food booster. That's why we left that empty. And then we're also going to throw down the clownfish down here. Just for variety's sake, for the biodiversity. And then that gives us enough biodiversity to throw down a second tuna right here, which is now surrounded by enough fish to make it worth it. Yeah, dried coral. That's a crappy one. Yeah, and every time we finish a quest, all Apex Biotica get more goodies. Alright, the Diplomat is inventing something new. Alright, Huntress levels up. Excellent. Alright, now we just need more raw goodies for the Diplomat. Luckily, I have a stratagem here. So what we're going to do, we're going to, over here, try to draw over, and also to increase our biodiversity, put down a sage bush over here. And now that gives us 4 biodiversity. Guess what we can do with 4 biodiversity? We can place another ostrich. Now I'm going to put it where the sandcat and move the sandcat over here. More on that later, like much, much later, is why I'm doing that specifically. But this change right here will be enough. And then let's get the sandcat over here. And that will give us enough prosperity, especially once they hook up this last territory. Now we want to be very careful. In fact, what I'm going to do, just to make sure, is I'm going to throw down a little bit more forest, because I don't want them extending into the rainforest over here. This last patch should be Port Ruthberg's. Alright, we finished our monument age, but we're not done yet. So, first, the next thing we want to do, yes, besides give Nighthawk Village some taiga to work with. Not you, you. 1, 2, 3, taiga. So one thing we want to do is expand the planet out. We're going to be getting more nomad charges, but we also need more space. So we're going to do one purchase of a expansion charge, and we will use it here and out in the wilderness so we get the full 4 tiles out of it. Beautiful. Now we're going to buy another city. Now, let's see who we get with this city. The miner or the pirate queen? We're going miner. Definitely miner. So in this case, we want... Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 1. We're going to put you over here. Now, our next goal here is that we want to get up our food a bit more. So what I'm going to do is over here, because we only have a couple more placements. Let's throw down the ash tree. Again, we want the biodiversity here. Actually, they already have access to a plant, so they need a mineral over here. Which actually is going to kind of suck, but that's okay. And yeah, we'll throw down the ash over here. Again, this is just for biodiversity purposes. Because with the 3 biodiversity, we can get another pangolin. And this one is now next to animal, plant, mineral, animal, and they're next to each other, so they are each other's animal qualifiers. Now, my goal here, I was able to pull this off in the last one, but I want to get our last city. I wanted to get it this time, but I guess we fell behind a little bit on the raw food. Yeah, the miner city would get us a little bit more. But here's the reason why I was going for it. At the end of the day, this is a very minor bonus. Is the monument gets a 30 gold for every tribe that has a less prosperity. And the more different cities we have, the more this bonus grows. So if you got 5 cities, this would be a ×4, and they're all smaller than this. This would be a ×4, 120 gold. At the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. We got our trapper bonus maxed out. Also, one other thing to note, mystery sucks for the Diplomat. So do not go for things that give mystery. We're not, don't you worry. But yeah, okay, we'll get the others in due time. We'll squeeze in a 5th city. No need to be hasty here. All right. So yeah, that's the era complete. Monument age complete. All right, lots of good stuff. I like the monument ages plus at 10 extra era, plus all the draft charge, the micro charges. All of that's going to be useful. And now, as promised, we are going with the one medieval one that we have not done yet, Revolution. Available because we have a city with at least 6 gold and at least 6 population. That's the Diplomat city, because we've been spamming out all those humongous animals that give us tons of food and tons of gold. So yeah, that is going to give us lots of good stuff. So let's confirm. Down with the Diplomat, they're too neutral. We're angry about politeness. All right, folks, so in our next episode, we continue on to the medieval era. The Revolution will be televised. Stay tuned to the channel to see it. If you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, it's been Pinstar signing out. See ya.